Hello. Over the past couple of decades or so, I've occasionally seen this photo show up on the internet, in the background somewhere, in a video clip, wherever. It always caught my eye. I thought, is it just a silly little Photoshop image edit clip, you know? Who is this guy? What's he wearing on his face? Well, I finally did a little research, and what I discovered both delighted and surprised me. His name is Hugo Gernsback, and he's one of the great scientific visionaries of the early 20th century. Hugo was born in Luxembourg, Germany in the late 1800s. An uncle had introduced him to electricity, bringing him a battery and a light bulb to play with. By the time he came to the Americas in the early 1900s, he had created a battery that was very powerful, and he immediately sold it to the Packard Motor Company for use as a starter in their new horseless carriage. With some money in his pocket, Hugo began to play with radio, and he created one of the earlier wireless sets that was very affordable and sold like crazy for use in homes. With even more money in his pocket and a love for scientific literature, he started the Gernsback Publishing Company in New York. You see, Hugo loved to devour everything that he could find on electricity and science, and it was hard to find stuff to read. So his solution was start a publishing company, specialize in publishing technical manuals and books and scientific papers from burgeoning scientists. So the other thing that Hugo was fascinated with was fantasy. He loved little stories of space travel and Martians and those types of things. And as an offshoot of his publishing company, he also started publishing fantasy stories. He began publishing a periodical called Amazing Stories. It contained a collection of what Hugo called science-y fiction stories. Science-y fiction. Of course, it took only about a year and everybody just said science fiction. That's right. Hugo Gernsback is basically the father of the science fiction genre. Very soon, the World Science Fiction Organization was formed and began to hand out an award every year for the best stories, the best published works in science fiction. That award is still given out today, and it still has the same name, the Hugo Award. That's right, the Hugo Award is named for Hugo Gernsback. So that brings us back around to this photo. What is Hugo wearing here? Well, this is actually a photo taken from a Life magazine interview and article. In 1963, Life magazine published an article titled "The Amazing Hugo Gernsback, Prophet of Science, the Barnum of the Space Age." It's an excellent article. It really goes in depth about Hugo. It's where I've drawn most of my information from for this clip. I will put a link to the article. It's on Google Books in its entirety down in the description. I encourage you to go ahead and read it. It's very good reading. During that interview, Hugo talked about a few of his ideas. He'd been thinking about teledoctoring, where doctors could visit patients remotely through television and radio waves. Well, we have that today. In fact, it's gone further, and we have remote robotic surgery across the internet being experimented with. Hugo also talked about a bracelet that a user could wear that would transmit his vital signs remotely to a hub where they could be analyzed and diagnosed. Sound familiar? Fitbit, anyone? The thing that Hugo is wearing in this photograph, he had his engineers mock up for him, and he brought it out and wore it. He described it as a personal portable television set, and he was clear that it would have earphones for stereo sound and two little CRTs to provide stereoscopic viewing for the wearer. Yeah, in 1963, Hugo Gernsback, for all intents and purposes, realized the concept of virtual reality goggles. Wow. So there you go, Hugo Gernsback. Now when you hear about the Hugo Awards, you'll know who they're named after. And if you read that article, you'll find out he was a very, very interesting man. Visionary. He was in regular communication early in life with people like Nikola Tesla and Edison. He was well known. He would tour and lecture on scientific advancements and developments. Really quite a guy. So, thanks for watching. I hope you found this informative. And if you did, give me a thumbs up, share the video. Have a good day.